Like that's you know, there's not necessarily anything wrong with jerking off a bunch of times every day. You know, I'm not saying I do it.
It kind of sounds like you definitely do it.
I'm not trying to sound like, you know, I'm defending myself here.
That's kind of exactly what it sounds like you're doing.
Like, surely if you are addicted to something, you know, and you also feel fulfilled, you also feel happy in your day-to-day life, then it's fine.
Is that how you feel?
Is that a
or
sensible
like,
argument? No, I mean, that's how I feel about anything to be addicted to. Anything that you do. I mean, really, isn't the goal as a person just to make sure that you're enjoying most of your days, and that you feel at the end of it like, oh, that was a day well spent. Like, I feel good about that.
I feel like the part of porn addiction is that it's an addiction, and that you put off aspects of your life and you let them deteriorate because you're so focused on beating off the porn. And it's also like, you know, another thing for your health. Like, you know, surely stroking your dick for hours and hours on end isn't healthy for your dick. I mean, you know, we had Critical on the podcast talk about his masturbatory story where he beat his dick raw and like raw. Like, imagine like a bit of steak just fucking like hammered. Hammered flat and then sculpted into a cock shape.
Temperature,
like there's if you're beating off for like hours and hours, like it's just not like healthy. It's not a good fixation. It's an addiction. You're there's really no justifying like, you know, putting your entire life aside just to beat the schmeat.
No, listen to me. Like, I understand what you're saying, and I know that obviously Critical's story might have frightened you from the jerking off all day, everyday lifestyle. Okay, I understand that. Like, it's not a pretty thing to imagine your cock beaten and bloody and red and looking like a raw piece of steak. But Critical went from 0 to 100 real quick. You know, it's not like he was working up to it every day, like starting out with maybe an hour, then 2, then 3, you know, over like years and years and years. The people who truly embrace jerking off all day, every day and watching porn as a lifestyle, they've figured it out and they've adapted to this, you know, and like to them, this is just truly what makes them feel happy and at peace. And I respect it. I feel like, you know, what's the shame in that? If you're able to do it, keep your dick healthy, and, you know, like you're still drinking water and eating food occasionally, and every night you go to sleep and you think, wow, another day well spent jerking off, then I think all the more
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
Like, you've ascended, you've figured out a life for yourself that works for you, and that's honestly respectable.
Yeah, you've actually brought me over to the other side.
There's no need to shame people for addictions that they feel, you know, aren't a problem.
100%. Fuck NoFap. I'm doing more FAP now.
But aren't you getting addicted to the dopamine that is like rewarded by the orgasm? Like, aren't you like it's most like likely. You're watching porn, and then when you're done watching porn, the only thing you can think about is when you're going to be watching porn and beating off again. Like,
oh, can't wait. Yeah,
dude.
What's wrong with that? Seriously, what's wrong with that? We all indulge in dopamine. You know, it's what keeps us moving through the day. We just happen to receive it in a more bigger variety of ways. These guys just know that porn's their shit, and they love beating that meat.
They could just like do nothing, like literally nothing but porn, like no social media, no fucking anything else that gives them dopamine, you know?
Yeah, they could be doing worse things.
You know, and, you know, maybe someday they decide like, oh, man, I'm going to bed and I actually don't feel good that I've been beaten off every day for the last 3 years. And then they change. That's also fine. But, you know, you got to let them come to that conclusion on their own. If they're just having a great time, there's no need to interfere as far as I'm concerned. They've made a choice and they're living their life the way they please. And I think everyone should be free to do that. As long as it's not harming anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As long as it's not like jerking off, like looking at the neighbor or, you know, on public transport, as long as it's not like getting in the way of that. So I feel like I'm disappointing you with my argument, but I actually really feel very strongly about this. So, you know, just would love to hear your thoughts.
I don't
think I'm gonna go and watch.
But the thing is that I've crushed you in this debate because you know I'm right.
He's a master debater.
I'm a master debater about masturbating. That's right.
Shit, dude. Fuck. Terry Crews does NoFap. So he's jacked.
Shit.
Yeah,
well, he was addicted to internet porn, right? Like that was, and he admitted that it wasn't making him feel good, and that was a problem, and that's a respect.
Yeah, but that's like most people that are like doing that aren't admitting to themselves that they have a problem. Like if you're beating off the entire fucking day, like that's a problem. Like,
Okay, but let's just talk about why.
One thing
first,
is like if you're just like an incel, you don't have a job, you don't have school, like you have nothing else going for your life. You're living off of government checks. You're just fucking sitting at home, and then you just what else am I going to do besides beat off? I mean, you're limiting yourself as a person. Like you're not allowing yourself. Yeah, you are. You are, because you're not doing anything productive besides stroking your dick.
What do you mean?
And the thing is, you're also leaving
why does
yourself
productivity
to more
matter?
risky behavior.
Hey!
If you
Keep it
have
civil.
a
Keep
job,
it civil.
If you
Keep
have
it a
a
civil
job,
argument.
if you're going to school,
right.
if you're doing anything that requires your attention, like hanging out with friends or like going to sleep over a friend's house, like you might be inclined to fucking go into the bathroom or like beat off in a bed or like do something inappropriate that could impact your life. Like, say you're on a fucking Zoom call and doing a class online on a fucking Zoom call and you start beating your dick. Like, you think your fucking webcam's turned off, but it's not. Is that worth the risk? Is it worth falling into that addiction to impact your life?
Okay, Fitz, you have 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes.
Anyone else can feel free to chime in here, all right? But I'm just saying that, listen, you seem to be under the impression that these people care about, Zoom classes and friends and, wonderful things. They don't. They only have one wonderful thing in their life, and that's beating off the porn. And if that's all they do and they're happy, then good for them. That's literally my argument. I don't like this idea that everyone has unlimited potential and it's a shame if you don't do more than jerk off the porn every day for your entire life. Like, that's ridiculous. There's plenty of people doing good things, plenty of people with great hobbies, wonderful friendships, fulfilling lives. These people also may have a fulfilling life, and they've just found it through the ass and titty section on the internet. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a beautiful thing.
I feel like you could just replace the word porn with heroin and your argument.
Absolutely. Oh, don't even get me started on that. Like, if you have figured out a way to consume heroin every day
and you
feel good, and you're not going to die, that's literally like end game. Like, it's the best thing ever. It's just constant pleasure. What do you mean?
All right, Swagger, you have 30 seconds.
Just for the viewers at home, don't do heroin. Don't.
Oh, look, don't try it. But if you get started and you like it,
I don't like this anymore. I don't like this anymore. I really don't.
Listen, man, we got to fill this hour somehow, and I just felt like I just got really heated about this topic. So it's, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. Listen, maybe I can admit that it's a bit of a shame if, like, you're a talented individual with a good brain and you spend your entire life jerking off the internet porn and doing heroin. Maybe I can admit that it's a smidgen of a shame there.
There we go.
But
we're coming to a nice agreement here. This is what I like to see.
I'll end the discussion on this. Like, look, just do what makes you feel happy, guys.
Yeah.
And trust it. Really, really trust it. And if you find that maybe you're doing something that makes you happy too much and it's getting in the way of other things you want to do that make you happy, then maybe it's time to take a look at whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
But if it's just going good, as far as I'm concerned, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's all I'll say about it.
Wow.
So jerk your little dicks and keep feeling good, everybody. It's a good day to be American.
It really is. And that's going to conclude
the weather.
Right, so it's like 25 degrees out. It's pretty hot.